Yo, what up? Welcome to Unmastered the podcast, where I get to chat to the contributors to the hip hop fraternity. Hey, hip hop has been hot, like pretty hot in the past few weeks, and it's just been exciting. And today I chat with a brother. Is a man who does like hip hop on like a realer level, not like I will not say much right now. Ilmena, please introduce yourself.
Yo, what up? I go by the name of Ilmana. I'm a rapper, poet, and generally just an artist. So yeah, this is me, and I've been like a fixture of underground rap since like way back. But hey, yeah, that's me, Ilmana. Yeah, anything else?
Your manner, definitely a poet. I used to bump into you like at open mics like a lot, like back when open mics were really like a thing, like before the COVID-19 thing. Um, yeah. So take us through that. Did you start as a poet? Did you like pick up the pen and be like, I want to be a rapper? What like, how has been your journey to being who you are right now? Like as an all around artist, like who is Ilmena in terms of evolution? How did you start and where are you right now as an artist?
Yeah, right. I started like it was 2013 or 2012. Like I started out as a spoken word artist and a battle rapper, but I was really more into spoken word than like rapping. So, but then as time went on now, like people used to tell me that your poetry sounds like raps, which was actually funny because I was also a hip hop head. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to listen to a lot of hip hop. So my poetry used to have like rhyme schemes, like weird rhyme schemes, not the general like the rhyme at the end of the sentence. But I used to put a lot of rhyme schemes in it. So someone was like, "Have you ever tried like rapping?" So I was like, "Okay, let me try rapping." So I started writing rhymes like rap, and then I started recording in 2012. So then I started just doing things whatnot. So the thing now is I used to like my thing when I started was to be the most lyrical person I can be. So you find my first tracks, I was very concerned with the lyrics at the expense of things like flow and delivery. You know, I was too focused on being a dope lyricist. But then as I evolve now, and also experiencing so many things, I start to like get more inspiration from more like life experiences. Like I began to go through things, experiences. Some of them were bad experiences, some of them were good experiences. So as a result, I started like evolving as an artist. So as I evolved and grew, I started like to master certain other elements like flow and deliver as I progressed. So now I'm at the point whereby after like releasing like let's see, I've got part of my manners, those of A Nappy Headed Poet, Shingi Mukaranga, and then I've got what you call it, Toro Magaba. So yeah, that means I've got like three EPs and one LP basically. So yeah, throughout that time, like I've evolved a lot. Like if you listen to part of my manners, the first I've done Toro Magaba. Then right now I'm working on part of my manners part two. You're gonna notice a very like big evolution. So yeah, like I've been like around for a while. Like I used to attend these open mics. Then when the lockdown happened, everyone has been forced to go to the social media to promote themselves and whatnot. So yeah, I'm still trying to find my way around the social media. Trying to master it to my advantage and whatnot. If you get what I'm saying.
I get you, man. I get you. Like your journey seems like standard in a way. Like it's something that I would expect from a rapper. Like the way you started out, and yeah, it's pretty much how most people I know started. I know I say this a lot, but because like it happens like a lot, right? So let's say you want to stand out. You shared your story, okay, it's like 20, 30 other stories that I have heard before. What is unique about Ilmena? What makes you stand out? What would you say that I am a rapper, but the fact or the reason that you should or listen to me or bump to my music is because of this. I bring this to the table. Tell us about that part of you that says, Ilmena, not any other person.
Okay, yeah, like for me, like I'm one of those people whereby I walk a fine line between what you consider as a woke person and what you consider as a ratchet person. It's like I'm in the middle of the lines between being woke and being like ignorant and ratchet. So I think I would like to brand my form of like expression as intelligent ratchetry, if you get what I'm saying. Like to the point whereby 1 minute I will tell you something about the world or the state of affairs of the country or some spiritual stuff. Then on the other hand, I might make a song about some strippers and whatnot. So one thing you can get from me is that I'm human in the most purest form. Like I know I'm trying to be one of those self-righteous, conscious rappers. At the same time, I'm not trying to be like that negative, street or gangster rapper or stripper rapper type of thing. Like the thing about Ill Man is that Ill Man is a human being, and I represent the size of a human being, because human beings are like, what can I say, are defined by their self contradictions, and that's what I represent with my art. That's why you find that I can like do a track, right, one of those wordplay tracks. I can spit some punchlines that make you feel like, yo, this dude is probably a reader. Then in the middle of that, I'll spit a punchline about kicking someone's ass or something like that, or taking someone's girl, something like that. To the point where I feel that's what I represent. I bridge the gap between the scholars and the street guys. That's my vibe because I'm from Avenues. And Avenue is a place whereby you can't say it's a ghetto and you can't say it's a suburb. Like by definition, you say it's a suburb, but then there are a lot of people who come through in avenues to Shagamari and whatnot, like looking for money and hustling. So now, because of that, I grew up with a mixed mind state. I'm not bougie, I'm not ghetto at the same time. I'm somewhere in between. You never see me claiming to be North Samora or South Samora. I'm just in between. That's why I can get along with everyone else, if you get what I'm saying.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, personally, I think that's the best way you could like describe yourself. And I'm thinking I'm gonna steal that. If I'm ever going to be on an interview and somebody asks me, I'm gonna give them that. Like, I'm not bougie, but I'm not ghetto. I'm not hood at the same time. I'm like in between. I represent both. I'm an ambassador. Like, that's really dope, man. That's really dope. Okay, now you talked about a lot about how you were different, how you are not trying to conform or fit in a certain narrative or something. Now tell us some of the challenges that you faced, because definitely if you are in between, that means the ghetto youths are not gonna bump to even men at that much because they wanna bump to dance or music. They wanna bump to Soldier Love. They wanna bump to Set Colors, Killer T, Tokyo Vibes. They don't wanna bump to Ten Diamond or Ilmena or Cynic because it's the ghetto. And the uptown kids are trying to bump to Lil Baby and then Ghana and Young Thug and Lil Wayne, the people from the States. And you're caught in between. How has that uh, struggle, in a way, been for you? Has that been a challenge? If you found it like stimulating, like how has that been for you?
I feel like it was more of a struggle, like maybe my first days, child, were like when I was strictly a boom bap person. Yeah, in those days I could sing with music younger. It was just for strictly for my heads and other rappers. But then as I evolved now, I began to master different beats. Like if you check out my recent tracks that I've done recently, I'm experimenting with different styles. There are tracks like the one I did with Bona Lao 7, BA7, Through the Eyes of a Misfit. That's a boom bap track. Then I have a track called Chimbambeda I did with Steve and Five Nash. That's a drill track. Then I have my own solo shit like Mangoro Meda, which is like a mixture between trap and boom bap with an auto hook, but like hard verses. Like these days I'm trying my best to mix, cause in as much as I grew up on the Wu-Tangs and the Chi, like the boom bap, I'm also a person who keeps his ear to the streets. And here's what he mass this time grouping is a drill and trap. So now my thing is to be as versatile as I can be. Kuti any kid from any walk of life, whether it's a old school hip hop head, I can do any one of my tracks, and like any like young kid who listens to the little babies and them can vibe to my music and like it. Because I think right now the biggest challenge I'm facing right now is marketing. Yeah, when it comes to marketing, I kind of need to pull up my socks, because that's I think my only biggest challenge. Like I don't really know how to, like, that's why I was saying Guti, how I'm trying to find my way around social media, because I want to learn how to market myself to the fullest extent, to the point whereby a lot of people hear my music and get to hear my side of the story, of the Zimbabwean story or the Avenue story. I'll say that's my biggest challenge right now. I wouldn't say it's the expression in the music itself, because I've had people like from like unexpected places telling me that they heard one of my songs and they say they like it. People I wouldn't even expect to like some of my songs. Then yeah, but nowadays I'm trying to be as versatile as I can when it comes to the beat selection and whatnot. Because I realized, man, we have a new generation. I'm at 2000s. Like people were born in my 2000s. These people didn't grow up on Wu-Tang and on Most Def. They grew up on Lil Wayne. They grew up on what do you call it, man, Nicki Minaj. And who else? Yeah, someone hold out that girl. So and now they've got a little baby. So these days I'm trying to be as versatile as I can. Because when I started, that was my biggest challenge, for lack of versatility. I wasn't versatile enough. Now just the only challenge I saw right now, see, it's the marketing. Yeah.
All right, I get you, I get you. Counterpoint. What I think is the problem, like with most artists that I know, especially local artists, is the image. You go to their pages, it's a bunch of pictures, you're not like depicting the social media, it's not all together. Like most artists, I'm not saying you in particular, this might affect you, this might affect me, this might affect the next artist in Zimbabwe. The thing about image, most artists in Zimbabwe don't care about their image on social media, on these platforms like YouTube and AudioMac and Spotify. How you look across the board online when people search about you sometimes is how you grow before you market. Even if you market something that is bad, not necessarily that the music is bad, but maybe the presentation of it, the way you're labeling it, the album art, the way you are uploading it, who you are associated with might drag you. Like, what are your thoughts on that? On branding and image portrayal, like in the Zimbabwean industry, like Zimbabwean music industry, Zimbabwean hip hop fraternity.
Let's see, branding. Like let's define the word branding first. Like if you're talking about branding, and we're talking about like let's say creating an image that's or a picture or a label of yourself, labeling yourself in a marketable way. So with that being said, I would say yeah, when it comes to image and branding, some rappers or some artists, local artists, they do work hard on their branding and all that. But yeah, they do put in work into their branding. And then there are some who they put in more branding and like work into the branding than they do into the actual music. To the point whereby the music may not be so wow, but their image may get them, a bit of a following. Then there are people who they may focus more on their music and lyrics than they do on their image. Yeah, in some extent, I'm kind of a victim of that, so close to the point whereby, like, I've noticed people have been telling me this, like, yo, man, you don't have enough videos out there. And I'm like, okay, she can see, no, you don't have enough videos. The thing is, you actually, because someone was like, yo, man, you actually have an image that's marketable, like with the locks and all that. Like, you can actually market yourself in a certain way, but you don't have many like visuals, and you don't take too many pictures of yourself and whatnot. Like you don't do that photo shoot thing you says trick. So yeah, I'll say Guti, in a way I'll say Guti, some of us don't put work into our brands, or we put work into our brands, but we don't know how to present those brands. Guti, when you want an image, but how can you present? Because I remember watching a documentary, Rakim Hansna, I think it was DJ Premier or Chazundian. It turns the first time I heard Rakim like on audio, I was like, this guy is dope. But then when I saw him, I was even more impressed because I was like, this guy looks like his music. Because Rakim, I look, I think my tricks with Gucci, I look all gangster and hard. That's not time facing in my streets. So that was the thing with the image. I think you should be a person. If someone listens to your song, when they see you in the streets, or if they do get to meet you or see you perform, they need to get that vibe. They can match the face and the person to the music. Okay, Shinindran, that's the vibe that he brings out. Shatangula Daro, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, we might need to work on image. I mean, if people like Wana Fanchoga and them, Fanchoga came through with this weird, what you call it, image you're talking about, you know, the tell music, you listen to his music, he's very energetic and hyper. If you see the way he looks with when he is in his costume, him at the it actually matches the music. You can like actually match the music to the person. Same thing, and I just so love and them doesn't dance or do it. So I'll say yeah. Image, people work on their images. They do actually have images, but they don't know how to execute those images, or they execute them for the wrong purpose. Whereas one got out like an image, let me just post a picture and maybe get some likes from the women and whatnot. Like he's not thinking about that image in the form of, putting his music out, the execution team, no presentation of the image. Because yeah, images are there, but people just don't know how to present them. That's just how I see it.
I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, I asked this question and didn't expect to get such a clever reply. People have this image. They look like their music for the most part, but they are trying to look some other part. They're going to photo shoots and wearing things that they wouldn't dress like or wear in general in their daily lives, which is precisely who they are as an artist. And if they like channel that into their music, that might work. And then the fact that you say that people have these brands in them, but they're not putting them out, or they don't know how to put them out, is really something. Is really something. So I want to ask something. This might be controversial or something. What do you think about the current thing that's going on? Enzo Asha has been putting out some hip hop songs as DC's director Do Holy 10. What do you think this represents or stands for, or does it like benefit the hip hop culture in general? What are your thoughts on the Holy 10, Enzo Asha, diss or beef or whatever it is? Because I'm sure it's something that has been planned. What are your thoughts on that?
For me, I'm going to look at the beef na Holy Tin Enzoga. I think it's an entertaining beef, especially kantoto za nyago choni. Enzo is a dancehall guy. If you trace my roots to hip hop, you actually find good Jamaican reggae or Jamaican dancehall. Do back up by hip hop, like rapping. Rapping came from chanting yen na biniman na bunjia. Like Kasanailo man in the 80s. But as even the guy who started hip hop who states was called Kruger Gantiga, called Clive Campbell. He was actually a Jamaican immigrant. So again, I wasn't surprised he ends up a hip hop track. And then it actually made it more interesting when I heard Gucci Enzo actually was a rapper before hip hop, before he did dancehall. Before he did dancehall. Like it made a lot of sense. Because the first track was kind of, it wasn't really that. On the flow side, it was cool. I'm gonna flow, nika beat rapping. Lyrically, I'm going anywhere. But then I was disappointed by the way Holy Ten responded to it. Because Holy Ten, he responded to it in a kind of a light way. I'm sure he could have gone harder than that. but then that was not, I know, Maz. Maybe this thing is planned. Maybe they're trying to do their own like controversy, publicity type of thing. Like maybe Enzo wanted to like launch himself as an hip hop artist. Remember Enzo said I'm gonna quit Antigua. Funny thing, when he says the answer I'm gonna quit, he starts making hip hop tracks. And then I feel like Enzo wants to rebrand himself as a hip hop artist the way he always wanted to be. Like he was a hip hop artist when he started. Now he really wants to get back into that road. So now this whole the menu now, he's actually coming back to his roots. He was a hip hop artist before he started to do dancehall. And I know this very much because Nini at one time, there was time when I started writing my patois Jamaican type of lyrics, considering like moving to from hip hop to dancehall. So I know what Enzo will be going through in his mind. So I think it's actually healthy for the genre. What's not healthy though is these people who go from the sidelines and don't go pindira. You know, people like when are coming past our pills, the dog, waringo akira, ishimwe sena, joseano, apetsila right? Kusamwaya akira, pinda into my song, I'm not gonna say whack, but I'm gonna say not really what we expect. You get what I'm saying? If you're gonna get into the ring, go akira into a beef that you're not part of, then you need to like come with the heat so that all the attention will be on you. But if you come through with the half-ass effort about who you wanna be mentioning the beef, you're doing a disservice to your own self as an artist and as a person. So yeah, I think the back and forth is good for the culture. Plus footy, yeah, it's actually bringing attention to hip hop. Like people out to touch though, like they're starting to like know some things about hip hop. Well, some people didn't know R Pills was until they heard what he took shots at Olten and Enzo. So yeah, I guess people are gonna start like trying to think out, are there more hip hop artists in Zimbabwe? So I think in a way it's a good thing Kuti they are beefing and they are bring publicity to the genre. But at the same time, it's a bad thing because my fans mentioning I go to right, Enzo ndiyapinga right, kuti ndiyapinga, not knowing kuti boys they actually homies. They probably smoke a blunt together. They probably drink together. They probably, want to catch an guys. So yeah, that's basically the thing.
Interesting. I think I've heard this theory quite a lot more in the past few days that Enzo was actually a rapper before he was a dancehall artist, but he realized that it seemed hip hop is kind of like not like a mainstream genre at that maybe at that time, and then he realized that being packaged more as a dancehall artist would work better for him, and I think his rapping is actually quite alright. It's tolerable at best. Now moving on. There's a lot that's going on the actual like Zim hip hop fraternity right now. There's a lot of projects that have been dropping. You've got your BA7s, you've got your Reaper, your Damon Marcus's, like a lot of like quote unquote underground rappers that haven't like really hit the mainstream or aren't in the mainstream are really like releasing like dope projects. Maybe in the past few months, like but do you think there is more attention now that is being focused on maybe underground hip hop scene right now? Like, what do you think has sparked that interest in the underground hip hop scene in Zimbabwe?
Uh, the reason why like underground hip hop is now being like paid attention to is because of the situation. Like these days, no one is going out to party. People are indoors, like, and they're on the the net, trying to keep in touch with their loved ones and whatnot. So because of that, people are now in a more sober state of mind. I'm not saying people are sober 100%. I'm sure people are smoking weed somewhere, indoors, but at the same time, they're no more in that zone, let's turn up and whatnot. Because I mean, where are you gonna turn up? So as a result of that lack of turning up nowadays is like it has led a lot of people to like look for music with substance. So people are now looking for substance in their music. They don't just want to turn up now. Like they're looking for substance. So because of that, the underground scene is now starting to be paid more attention to. And of course, the underground scene is, responding by putting out good music. The Demi Marcuses are coming through with their social political, style of rap. You know what I'm saying? Like represent for the revolutionaries. Then you've got Malcolm Funde coming through from the, wordplay type of rap perspective. And then you've got like Reaper. Reaper, in Kauta, Reaper is more on that. He's like his image is more like the cool church boy, the church boy who just happens to know how to rap. And then you've got BA7, who's like a crossover between the esoteric conscious stuff and the street stuff, which is funny that you mentioned BA7, because my style of rap, I'll say the person who I'm most similar to among all these rappers I've mentioned is BA7, because BA7 walks a fine line between the streets and the esoteric scrolls. So the reason why underground hip hop is being paid attention to is because people now have more time to listen. People are not turning up anymore. People are now in the zone whereby they have no choice but to listen to substance. Because turning up hakuna. No one is going out partying and clubbing and whatnot. Because clubs are closed. If you get what I'm saying.
I get you. I get you, man. Honestly, if I had like not had this conversation with you, of course, I don't know if you remember, we had this conversation a while back, probably 4 years in person, at what's this called, National Art Gallery, like, and we was talking. You were sharing some nuggets. I don't really remember most of that, but I knew that was deep. But from the way that I'd seen you in the past few years or months, I really never thought like you. I thought you were more raggedy, like rowdy, like you're more with extremist ideas and everything. But now I'm realizing you're like a deeper and more philosophical guy in a way, like smart with brains, like the smart rappers, like you're like darks in a way, which is quite amazing. I like that you stand out. And now let's talk about the future of hip hop in Zimbabwe. Where do you see it going maybe the next few years? And you, what are your plans? Are we seeing a new Illumina album, mixtape, music videos, collaborations in the next few months, few years? What are your plans in the next few years? What can we expect from you?
In Anka, personally, from the way I see things, I think if we get rid of the classism, hip hop could go far in Zimbabwe. This whole English versus Shona rap, no Samora versus South Samora. If we get rid of that, it's no Shikakure. That much I know. And also, I feel like with the way things are going, like Holy Ten and them, they paved the way in a way like since back up in Holy Ten, like people are now like interested in who else does hip hop, like because now they have a reference point, and you have people like Wana San, now Danny Moods, who are getting signed to South African labels, and they're coming through with their sound, that new school vibe, yeah, which is like that. How can I say? It's not really trap, but it's like I'll just call it the new wave. People like Wana San, Anthony Moods, Wana Obi, Chi. I like what they're doing, and they're taking hip hop like semi hip hop to like higher levels. If you get what I'm saying. Then when people like Wana Pro beats, like everyone is coming through their own style. So this time around, I feel like with the way different styles and also from the underground on Arkuyaga, I feel like 5 years from now hip hop can be some way. And people like to say this whole hip hop versus dancehall thing. I think hip hop and Zen dancehall should coexist. Not good one should overshadow the other. They should coexist as sister genres or brother genres, or I don't know, hubby and wife genres. I don't know what they may be called, but they should coexist because I feel like if they coexist, will take it further. We might actually combine and end up forming a new sound. In UK, you've got grime music. In Nigeria, is Afro beats. SA is Kwaito. We might actually be end up like blending with the dancehall cats to form a new genre that puts Zimbabwe on the map as an independent entity in the music industry, if you get what I'm saying.
That was quite deep. And I think I can see that actually getting out and becoming such a success. Yeah, you said a lot, and I want to add on that. I don't want to spoil it. You said something really profound right there. Now, take us maybe to your childhood. Who inspired you, Mena? What are some of your earlier influences as you're growing up? The music that you listen to. What music was being played around the house? Maybe by your parents, maybe by your siblings, or the people that you were staying with that shaped who you are right now, and the music that you have been listening throughout and up to this day. Take us through that journey. What music do you listen to, and what kind of shows and content are you mainly listening to? Maybe to someone who likes your content and likes your attitude and who you are, and would want to know what kind of stuff do you like listen to or take interest in.
Any personally, like as a young kid, like I grew up around like my aunties who stay by my crib, like because I used to stay with my mom and in Chichi. So when aunties, they used to listen to like R&B, when Asha, when Mariah Carey. Then I had an uncle who used to listen to when Park and Snoop. And then sometimes my was on Jakarta, people like the old people in Jakarta, Wanatuku and Mavumo. And then there's an uncle of mine on that route used to listen to Snoop and like when I DMX. The first hip hop song I ever listened to was the DMX song called Ain't No Sunshine. But at that time I wasn't a fan yet. So now I started listening to like reggae dancehall. But I used to listen to like the beats shit. Because at that time I didn't understand the language, like the patois, but I liked the beats. It all changed when I was introduced to 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying, his first album. That's now I was like, you're a music DP. Then I started to vibe to the music. And I liked what the stories he was telling. Because then as a personality, my father died when I was 3 years old. So I grew up I was raised by a single parent, a single mother. So when I heard these stories that these rappers were telling us, I was like, yo, I can relate. At least I'm not alone. There are a bunch of us who have like absent fathers for different reasons. Like, so I started listening to like under 50 Cent. Then as time went on now, I got introduced to Pac and Biggie. There's an uncle of mine who used to listen to Pac, Biggie, Orange, like 90s rappers. So I started like jacking his cassettes, and listening to them, and then starting to learn about the old school hip hop. Then I started doing my own research, started listening to like the Wu-Tangs, then I started listening to like the Kanye's. Like Kanye, most people don't know this, but Kanye is the reason why I started rapping. Like I remember at College Dropout when it dropped, I could relate to the content so much to the point whereby I started writing some raps, but I wasn't recording, I was just writing because of Kanye. Then I started going back. Through Kanye, I got introduced to Common and Mos Def because they were featured on that album. I started listening to those people. So like I was into all that stuff, and then along the way, my love for dancehall, the dancehall which I had first listened to before hip hop, came back when like people like Mavado were dropping their tracks. And I started listening to dancehall a lot. So as far as hip hop is concerned, my influences, you have people like Nas, Jay-Z, Scarface, Wu-Tang, Kendrick Lamar, Pusha T, Schoolboy Q, Chilitronica, people like, what you call him? I'm thinking of someone. There's this dude who signed to J. Cole, Omen and Cause. Yeah, those are also influenced on my style of rapping. And also I listen to a lot of British rap like Rhyme, people like Skepta, Gigs, DWE, Dizzy Rascal, J Hus. And on dancehall now, my influences with people like Vibes Cartel, Buju Banton, Beanie Man, Bounty Killer. So like my musical taste is mostly dancehall, hip hop, and grime, like British, what people call British rap, but it's called grime. And grime, R&B, I do listen to a lot of like R&B too, like, but I like the more soulful stuff. People like Erica Badu, the Chicks Seguti, Uguatera, you can feel the love coming from their music. And when it comes to R&B, like, that's the funny thing. When it comes to R&B, When it comes to the chicks, I like the very emotional, soulful type of chicks, the Erica Badu's. When it comes to the dudes now, I prefer listen to people like R. Kelly, people like Trey Songs, like dudes who are, who use R&B as a channel for their own sexuality, like who like reveal their sexual intentions on the track. So yeah, I would say hip hop, dancehall, grime, neo soul, and also a little bit of Fela Kuti. Yeah, I love Fela Kuti. Those are like my influences. That's what I tap into when I wanna make a song or an album or whatnot. But at the same time, I'm also a reader. I like reading books, like Dambutsu Marechira's books. I'm into, people like Chinua Achebe. Like I'm also a reader, like I'm a wide reader like that. That's another place where I get my influences, inspiration from reading.
That was such an in-depth. I would have to listen to them more and more and more, like to really get you to get who you are and what you do. But that was like a lot. And to just sum it up into a list of things, let's do this. Let's play a game called Random 10 that I play with my guests. I just ask you 10 random things and you give me answers without explaining. One, what's your favorite movie? Number two, TV show. Number three, visual artist, color, new car brand, country, rapper, album, and producer. Let's go.
Right, my favorite movie is Scarface. My favorite TV show, would have to be Boondocks. My favorite visual artist, definitely Basquiat. That's the thing. My favorite color, is a clash between black and blue. Then my favorite meal, that would have to be rice and fish. My favorite country, definitely Ethiopia. My favorite car brand, BMW. Favorite rapper, of course, Nas. My favorite album would have to be Stillmatic. My favorite producer would have to be Kanye West. So yeah, that's it.
Bro, you also decided about these things. It scares me. It scares me. It's like you already knew I was gonna ask you this. Oh, or did you? I don't know. Kind of crazy. We've reached the end of the podcast, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I don't know. What would you want to say to someone who's been listening for the past several minutes or almost an hour? What would you want to say to them for their support, their interest in who you are as an artist, and just the love? Maybe it's your family, maybe it's your friend. What would you want to say to them before you leave the podcast, or maybe to your fans as the last words? Like, um, yeah, just as a word of advice and appreciation.
Okay, I'd like to give a shout out to everyone who tunes into this or tuned into this, whatever. I'd like to give a shout out to them. And then I'd like to give a shout out to my lost homies, people like, Con Tips and Killer Bishop. May your souls rest in peace. And also to my pops, may your soul rest in peace. I give a shout out to my mom and the whole family, all my relatives. And now, as for myself, I'll say, uh, expect some more fireworks from me, some more music from me as the year progresses. I'm sure before the year ends, I'm gonna drop something. It could be an LP, a mixtape, or a full-length album. But I'm gonna drop something because I'm working on some tracks right now that I'm sure are gonna blow your mind. And also, if you wanna check for my music, if you go on Audio Mac and then type Ill Manner, you'll find my music there. Then if you go on SoundCloud and you type Illman the Mutant X, you'll find my music there. If you go on YouTube and type Illman the Boss Niggas, you'll find my music there. So for all the people, for all the rappers out there, whatever you do, don't stop. It's gonna work out in the end. And for all the people who are going through whatever they're going through, I'd like y'all to, stay strong and keep moving forward. Suicide is never the answer. Just soldier on, move forward. Yeah, that's basically my word. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Ilmena. Wow, he's such a well-spoken guy. Uh, most rappers aren't, for the most part. I gotta tell you that I've spoken to a lot of rappers. Most of them are not well spoken. All right, man. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been Unmaster the podcast. I'm your host, Attendees Bandu, aka the Ultra Poet. Go follow us on social media at the Heat Trader. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and share with your friends that might like this. Until next time, ciao.